Well, welcome to a very special episode of the podcast. We have a special guest on today. She has been named one of Library Journal's 2024 Movers and Shakers. She received this honor for creating the MCPL Seed Library and for her innovative Local Eats program series with Cornell Cooperative Extension. She is one of the 50 librarians selected from across the United States to receive this distinguished honor in librarianship. In addition to spearheading the development of the Seed Library, she has become one of the forces behind the Long Island Seed Libraries Roundtable. Through her work, she has strengthened the library's partnerships with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County, Hobbs Farm, and the Pollinator Pathways Project, inspiring and encouraging unique library services and programs. It is my pleasure to welcome to the show 2 weeks in a row, Amber Gagliardi.
Thank you so much, Sal.
How are you?
I'm great.
You know, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we had so much packed into the summer reading episode, so I wanted to bring you on specifically to talk about this. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
For representing the library and for doing such wonderful work with this particular project. I know it's near and dear to your heart. You're very passionate about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So I thought we'd speak about the Seed Library this week and kind of give an overview to patrons, what they can expect, what's offered to them, what they have available to them. And it's that time of year, right? I mean, we're a little slightly late, but
we just are over the peak of the Seed Library. Of course, the most popular time is April and May, when people are starting seeds, thinking about their garden. But really, the Seed Library is popular all year round at the Middle Country Public Library. People have really come to our programs, they have educated themselves, and they realize there's a lot you can plant year round. So that is what really makes our Seed Library pretty special. We get a lot of cold weather crops as well and seeds, and we have programs around those things. So really our patrons kind of utilize it. I take a look at the stats. I'm amazed, but it's used year round. So it's still open. It's always on our public floor. So there's always an opportunity to come in and see what we have that you can grow.
So what is it exactly? It's actual seeds?
Yeah. So our seed library started in 2018. And when we started in 2018, it was small. We had 11 different seeds patrons.
That's it, really?
Wow. We started small and humble. We're up to over 70. So it's just...
Over 70.
Over 70.
Wow.
And we get special donations here and there, too, that just puts us over the mark there. But we try to keep the things that our patrons love. We take a look at what people check out. We get feedback at our programs. We get feedback at the reference desk. So we try to keep a decent amount of staples, if you will, of things that people can expect us to have. And then through our partnerships, you mentioned some of them, and some other partnerships with seed companies, we do get a number of donations. So when you're in the library, it's always worth stopping by the Seed Library and seeing what we have, if we have something unique, something special. So it's a great place to browse and stop by, because you might find something that you've never grown before that you can certainly try.
Now, a lot of these seeds are actual, they come from plants from the previous season. Is that right?
They do. So, we do accept seeds back from patrons if they're able to provide us with a decent amount of information, so people would be able to successfully grow those. We have our seed swap every year, so that's in March, where people can share seeds. But we also get donations from large seed companies that do this on a bigger scale. There's a number of crops that are just more difficult to save, that you would need to do it on a bigger scale. So we certainly source seeds from those companies, so we can have a good variety of healthy, nutritious food for people to grow, and also just plants and flowers that are really good for our pollinators. So you mentioned that before.
So what is that exactly?
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, Cornell Cooperative Extension and all other local groups, including the library, we started a group called Suffolk Alliance for Pollinators. And really, it's just to bring awareness of the importance of pollinators. As many people know, we need bees and moths and butterflies and other pollinators out there to pollinate our food that we eat.
Sure, yeah.
And without their help and our relationship with these insects and butterflies, we wouldn't have a lot of the food that we enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's important to realize it. There was a New York Times article that came out that talked about the decline of the monarch. The monarch is one of those poster butterflies
yes.
out there.
Famous butterflies.
Everyone can kind of recognize it.
Yeah.
The kids get to know the monarch, but really they're just one of our important pollinators. But because of that article, people really responded to it. And I think people could relate to what they were reading and said, you know what? I haven't seen a monarch. I haven't seen the big migration I used to see. So it really brought awareness. And these local gardening groups, local environmental organizations came together and said, we need to bring awareness to our community. When you make the community aware of these things that are so important, they usually respond. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways that the library has responded is increasing the amount of native seeds that we have for our patrons to grow. And we have tried to do a number of programs around this to bring awareness of the importance and also do some hands-on teaching programs where patrons can come in, start milkweed seeds, start butterfly weed, really get aware of how to take care of these plants so they can be successful.
Wow.
Because everybody wants to do these things, but sometimes you're not as successful.
Sure, yeah.
So just bringing the awareness, the education is a big thing.
Yeah, you mentioned programming.
Yeah.
I would have no idea what I'm doing out there. I would just literally put it in the ground and look at it, put some water on, and hope for the best. So we have programming here to help patrons. It's not just kind of sending them home with.
Yeah. And really the programs became before the Seed Library.
Okay.
Our community has always enjoyed gardening programs. We've always had a decent amount of gardening programs for children and adults. And the Seed Library was able to enhance those. It was able to give the tools to the patrons in the program. Mm-hmm. And then we were able to add additional program to bring awareness of some of those seeds. So the seeds that you can start in the fall, we can do a fall blooms program to talk about those things. Our cool weather crops that we have, you might not be aware. You can start, lettuce, spinach, arugula towards the end of the season. Wow. So we'll do programming around that to kind of teach people, hey, it's September, but get these cool weather crops in because you can be growing until, the first week in November. So we just have used the Seed Library as a tool to enhance a lot of these things that we were doing and to also add to it. Okay. So that's where these innovative programs come in and our partnerships. It has just, been able to amplify all those things. So that's where the passion comes in.
Yes, I can hear it in your voice.
You can just do so much with it. And even things that may not go out, like for example, beets and some of our leafy greens weren't as popular. So then we were able to do some programming around that, just to talk about the nutritional value of these things, how easy they are to grow, and actually giving people the seeds so then they can go out and grow these things. And maybe they'll like it, maybe they won't, but at least we're putting it out there to the community to make a call and giving them the tools to be successful.
Sure. So tell me about some of the seeds that we do have. What can people expect? You mentioned milkweed. You mentioned, the things to bring butterflies to your backyard. But what in general can we expect as far as what's in the library?
So as far as flowers go, sunflowers are the most popular.
Okay.
We've added many different varieties because we just want to respond to that, the thing that our patrons love. They're easy to grow. People recognize them. They're fun for kids. All these things make them popular. Also, a lot of sunflowers are native to Long Island, so they're great for the environment.
Okay.
You might see goldfinches around your sunflowers. They love to eat these.
Wow.
If you grow them, you will attract these beautiful birds to your yard. So that's a lot of fun. So that's one thing we've done. Of course, as far as vegetables go, tomatoes are extremely popular.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
We have about 5 different varieties of tomatoes based on the year and have switched them and added them. They go out well. Cucumbers, again, we have several different varieties of cucumbers. We added a variety this year, a pickling cucumber. Those we can barely keep in the seed library because people just want them.
Make pickles.
Yeah, exactly. So we're constantly, looking at what we can source. It's not guaranteed we can get things year after year because we try to get things that are available in bulk, so it makes sense for a budget standpoint. And we also try to get things that are organic. We found that many people want organic. They want to know that there's no chemicals in their food. That's a priority for them. So we've responded to what our community wants. And I only try to get things that are organic.
Okay.
And they have to be open pollinated so you can save them. So those are what I'm looking for when we're trying to purchase seeds. And then I try to see what I can get donated. So again, that will affect of what we have, the availability of it from year to year.
So who is able to donate? How does that work?
So we work with a lot of seed companies that we do purchase seeds from on a large scale so we can have enough for everybody. But then they also have donation programs. So since we, qualify for that, they'll send us a variety of seeds. Oh, wow. So Hudson Valley Seed Company sends us, a couple boxes of seeds every year. The Seed Saver Exchange also will donate to us. And then we have patrons who also donate as well. So they come in many different sources, and as the seed library grows, I'm constantly looking for more places that, see what we're doing, see the value, and may want to donate or partner with us in one way or the other.
Not to put you on the spot, but what is one of the more unusual donations or seeds that we have in the library?
So again, I try to keep in mind what will grow well.
Okay, yeah.
In our zone.
Yeah.
So while I probably could get really crazy things out there that nobody would know about, it's not my focus.
Okay.
If people want to try those things, awesome. But one thing I want to keep in mind is there's so many things that can go wrong when you're growing your own vegetables. Okay. You can have a rabbit come in and eat your entire crop. You can have a deer jump the fence and eat everything. You can get, a bug infestation. So there are challenges. We can have weeks and weeks of rain and you have no drainage. Yeah. So gardeners do face a challenge. So one thing I do is try to source seeds that are not unusual, that will grow well in our zone on Long Island because it's hard enough already.
So someone shouldn't come with seeds from Arizona or from New Mexico or
no. And if they do, we would not add those to the seed library. Yeah. I maybe would put them out for any patrons who wants to try it. But again, our focus is growing things that are nutritious, that will grow well in our growing zone. And we want people to be successful.
Successful.
So, it could be fun to try all those crazy things. But as for the seed library, not really our focus.
Sure. Now, how does it work? So someone takes a seed out from the library, they plant it, it grows, it's great. And then do they actually take some of the fruit and take the seeds out of the fruit and bring them back? Have you ever had that situation?
So it really depends on the variety that you're talking about. So some things are that straightforward, a tomato being one of them. You're always going to... for a tomato, for example, we can't speak of every seed in a blank statement. You would want that to over ripen, if you were, go to a mature level, and then you can save those seeds.
Oh, wow, okay.
So when you are saving seeds, some of them are very straightforward, but you do want to maybe take out one of our seed saving books. We have a seed saving guide at the seed library, a little handout that you can come and get. There's lots of resources out there, but to save seeds and to be successful, you do want to do some research on how to do that. And by research, it may just be taking 10, 15 minutes to read up on it and then implementing. Yeah. But It's straightforward, but it just depends on the variety. It depends on what you're trying to save, and some things are easier than others. So we do have a nice handout with a list of our easy to save vegetables.
So there's specific, what you're saying is there's specific vegetables
Yes.
that's easier to do that.
Absolutely. And then every year we also have a seed saving class.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so you can come and hear from somebody who has the experience, who can really guide you along. It's rewarding, it's easy enough, but you do need some basic knowledge to be able to do that.
So I know you mentioned we're kind of past the starting season, but I think you mentioned March. Is that generally the season, when the time of the year when you start here on Long Island?
Well, so it depends on what you're growing. Like a Brussels sprout, for example, takes 9 months. So you want to start your Brussels sprout seeds in February.
Yeah.
A lot of flowers you want to start really, really early as well. Your tomatoes and whatnot, you're fine if you start them late March, even early April, mid-April, you'll still be able to get fruit from those things. So it really just depends. But what's really awesome is we've been doing this for a while at the Middle Country Public Library, since 2018. So I can say our collection of gardening books is excellent. We have tons of resources. We have our Seed Library webpage that's full of resources.
Great.
And we also do a seasonal leaflet, which is an email that people can opt into.
Oh, excellent.
So each season, librarians here, including myself, we compile resources. We tell you about the new seeds. We feature seeds. We tell you about the upcoming programs. We also collect community tips on things that your neighbors have tried and they want to share their
super local. Yeah.
So we have this. So I think people enjoy it. We seem to get a lot of people who open the email and respond. But that is a resource that people can opt into. When you check out seeds from the Seed Library, we'll ask you if you want to join the email newsletter. So that's one way to get involved. Or you can go directly to our webpage, and there is a spot to sign up for the leaflet. And it'll get delivered to your inbox each season.
Great.
So we're not going to be sending you a whole bunch of stuff. So it's not one of those emails where you're going to be pulling your hair out that you're getting weekly. We give it each season. And once in a while, if there's a special program going on or we get like a delivery of like new seeds, we let you know.
Yeah.
So it's really just focused on the Seed Library and gardening and our gardening program. So if that's what you like, we have it for you.
Great. So what is the process if I want to take out seeds? First of all, is this open to the public or do you have to have a Middle Country card?
So it is open to the public because we do source donations.
Okay.
So when we are able to extend it to the community as a whole. But of course, our focus is always, on the Middle Country patrons, and we'll complement those with the programs. And anytime you're in the Seed Library at Center Reach or Selden, you can stop by the Seed Library, select up to 4 seed packets, and then you'll check them out with our librarians at the reference desk, and you're good to go.
Excellent. So we might have some visitors, some viewers and some listeners who are not close to us.
Yeah.
But maybe they want to participate in something like this. Are there other libraries on Long Island? I know you've created an organization for other libraries to get involved with this. Can you want to tell us a little about that?
Yeah, well, luckily, a lot of libraries do have seed libraries. I'll tell you a little bit about that. But when I wanted to start the Seed Library, I looked around and I was only able to find 4 libraries on Long Island that had seed libraries. I was able to contact those librarians who started them and kind of get their feedback, but it was a very new thing, if you will. After the pandemic in 2020, I think with the lack of food on the shelves and people getting scared if they can source it, also the explosion, if you will, of people starting their own garden, even if it was small, just because they saw there was no lettuce, they saw there was no tomatoes. A lot of people started a garden.
Sure.
So I contribute that to just the growth of seed libraries. But I can say now that there are over 60 seed libraries on Long Island.
Wow.
So there's about just over 100 libraries on Long Island, public libraries we're talking about. So we're about half.
Yeah. That's great.
And what has happened that it's very unique about this service is that the community is asking
for the
libraries,
seed libraries, yeah.
to start one.
Which is, it happens with a lot of things, right?
It does. They say, oh, this library has one. Why don't we have one?
Why can't we have this?
So it's really been a community-driven service, if you will, because it's just, there's so much you can do with it. And I think that what has happened is patrons want organic seeds. They want seeds that are good for the pollinators. But when you go into the store, you're not always going to find them. The period of time where the big box stores have out seeds is about a 6-week window.
Okay.
And that's not always when you get this idea of starting.
True.
And sometimes you'll go in and they don't have what you want. They don't have organic things. And you're confused and you need more information. So when that happens and people want more information and they need just a little bit more help, they come to the library.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a perfect place for a seed library because sometimes you can read something on a packet that says, soak your pea seeds overnight for 24 hours. But if you have that discussion with a librarian on the desk, you feel so confident going into it. So again, gardening is one of those things where you just have to keep trying. You have to try things that work. There's many ways of doing it. And I find that people are more comfortable coming to the library, getting in their seeds, getting a book to go along with it, speaking to others doing the same thing, than they are just walking into a store, paying a bunch of money for seeds. I was going to say,
and they have to pay for it. Yeah, they pay for it.
Yeah. And a lot of times in the stores, too, you'll get a whole bunch of seeds and you only need a couple. So what's really cool about our seed library is we put enough for, a small garden. So most of our packets have 8 to 10 seeds in it. Which is usually too much and you can share with a neighbor. But it's not like a huge packet of seeds, so you don't feel wasteful. A lot of times we're doing this to be mindful about the environment. We're thinking about reducing waste and we're thinking about, how to not be running out to get, using gas. All these things, it just really makes sense that you're getting the amount of seeds you need. Yeah. You're getting the information. They're sourced from a company that is not using pesticides and not doing all this stuff. So, again, I just think it's the perfect place for seeds to be.
It's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Amber. And again, you can hear the passion in your voice and the way you talk about it. And I think that's very important for our patrons to realize that we have a very passionate person here who's taking care of you and all the seeds and this program. And congratulations again on your honor of being one of 50 librarians this year in the country to get this honor. It's very, very wonderful.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for watching and listening and joining us this week for this special episode. If you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, you could visit our website, mcplpodcast.com. And we will put in the show notes where you can see the seed library information from our website. Awesome. Definitely take advantage of it. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Hey, and if you liked it, hit the like button on YouTube. We'd appreciate that, and hit subscribe because maybe we'll have another show about seeds, and maybe Amber will do some more seed programs online.
I would like that.
That would be good. Yes, yeah. So definitely take advantage of that and hit that subscribe button. So for Amber Gagliardi, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. We'll see you on the next show.